Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Zatima Season 4, Episode 5, Lose to Win. Let's get into it. So it starts off with, Zach making Fatima breakfast. So he made her some eggs, some waffles, some pancakes, some bacon, potatoes, and I think he had some fruit, maybe like a lemon or whatever the case may be. So he's recapping like, "Oh, yes, I had this," and then he picked up a banana for some more fruit. He was like, "Nah, I got a banana." Put that one back. He walking upstairs with the plate, talk about Fatima, Fatima. Fatima. So she eventually he gets so close to that she wakes up and he's startled and he was like, "I be careful before you knock the food over." She was like, "I ain't asked for none of this." So he placed the food down on her lap and he takes a piece of the bacon. As soon as he got on the bed, he knocked all the food over onto the bed. And she's like, "Clean it up." And he was like, "Listen, stop cursing." She was like, "Listen, I ain't asked for this. Like, why you waking me up too early for this? Now we got to get ready to go to court." So she ended up getting up off the bed, and he said some things to her, and she said, "Dak, shut up." And then she goes to the bathroom, and he was like, "So you gonna fight?" He was like, "Yes, I will, and I will kick your behind." And he was like, "Dang, you hurt my feelings." And then she closed the bathroom door, like, "Clean this mess up." So now they head to the courthouse, and Heather's aunt stayed with her attorney, and the judge came in and was like, "Are you his counsel?" She was like, "No, I'm just his fiance." So he also was known that she's a paralegal too, so she basically can't enter her 2 cents. So come to find out, Heather's aunt basically want to take deem him unfit because of his past, being in the fight with his brother, the video, and his record of in and out of jail. So yeah, the judge was like, granted that his past is bad, I still don't want to take a child away from their father because not for nothing, every child needs their parents. Okay, yeah, until they deemed unfit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the judge was like, "Okay, right now, Miss Cunningham, you have temporary custody. Zach, you will get full custody until you attend anger management classes and you make sure that your house is fit for a nurturing environment for Michael." So he was like, he was kind of mad, and then he also had supposed to be supervised visitation. So they was agreeing with that. Come to find out, Heather's aunt is just as money hungry as her. That his child support was 1,000, they added to 3,500. So now he's tight behind that. But then she also was like, "So when Ms. Wilson gives birth, can her income be included too, so they could up it?" He was like, but Tim was like, "No, he's not non-custodial parent, meaning my income shouldn't have to do with what he got going on." And he was like, "Yeah, that's correct." So they agreed to the stipulations that was put in place. But Fatima, she also was like, "Can I make one more requirement?" And he was like, "What's that?" "A DNA test." And he was like, "Okay." He looked at the paper. He was like, "It's seen as one up here, but that was a home DNA test." Okay. So he was like, "You mean to tell me we have not got one done by the lab?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's right." So yeah, basically Miss Cunningham basically just trying to get all the money she could get off of them without really having to do what she gotta do. So the judgment for the custody has been extended to 6 weeks when 6 months until the paternity test come back, and they're gonna proceed at a later date. So that's a win on their part. Everything's gonna stay how it is to them. Meanwhile, Fatima gets back to work. Chelsea comes in and she offers her a proposition to work in the entertainment division of handling one of her biggest clients. At first, you can tell Fatima's a little hesitant, but it's only supposed to be for like a couple of months. By that time, Chelsea be going coming back on her medical leave, whatever she got to take care of, and at the same time, That's around the time that Fatima takes maternity leave. So she basically tells her like, your first client is Sage, and she's like, Sage. She's like, yeah. And then she's like, well, your first meeting starts now. So she takes out her notepad or whatever, and she's going into the conference room. They have a good time. They kikiing up. She really liked the fact that she really is a down to earth country girl. So Sage is basically suing her manager, which is her father. He basically got her into conservatorship, and that basically means they do and tell you everything you gotta do. Kind of like what happened with Britney Spears and her dad, and she eventually got out of that after 20 plus years. So yeah, that's exactly what her dad is doing to her. And Fatima's going to draw up some paperwork so that they can get that rectified. And then she also wants her dad to not be a part of her new album that she's working on. She also let her know that she got a new single that's done, and she want to do like a small intimate listening party to see how the fans will react to that. So she Fatima was like, I probably have a spot in mind, but I'll probably get that back with you the next day. Also when I do these paperwork. So that was that. She was happy about the meeting. So she came in and was like, okay, how did that go? It was like, it was cool, everything's good. And then she told about the listening party. She was like, yeah, so now you're exclusive. She was like, something like that. She's like, I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. And that was that. Zach ended up calling Fatima while she was still at work and asked her when was she gonna be home. She said, I'm probably gonna be late, but he was like, I got a big load to wait for you with in 2 hours, but that's not gonna be the case. So they said their goodbyes and they love each other. And then Preston comes in and was like, so what are you gonna do? He was like, I'm going to happy hour, but you wanna come? He was like, I ain't got nothing else to do. Fatimi's gonna be late at work. Bryce inserts himself, but like, listen, are you going to happy hour? I ain't gonna do nothing else but just sit around Angela's house and wait. And it's just like, you're like, you really said that out loud? It was like, yeah. So basically, they go on a happy hour, and that's that. Tony went and dropped off some more money to that guy's mom's house, and as she's about to walk away, she opens the door and picks up the envelope. She was like, "Hey, young man," and he quickly walked away, and it's just like, okay, maybe he'll tell her what really happened. I don't know, but yeah, y'all stay tuned for the next one. I got y'all. Bye.